Yo, what's going on everybody? Welcome back to my harm reduction series. This is going to be another request fulfillment entry for this homeboy here, and as you can see, today's substance will be ketamine. I've been wanting to make this one anyways, but since I was directly asked, I'm moving it up on the schedule and doing it today. If you're new here, just know that this series is not encouragement, nor is it discouragement. People will do as they do, and this series exists for one main reason: removing the harm that can come from uneducated drug use. I hope you all get something useful out of this series in one way or another. Let's jump in. Ketamine is a dissociative anesthetic that has been used medically and recreationally for decades for its dissociative, analgesic, and psychedelic adjacent effects. Pharmacologically, ketamine works primarily as an NMDA receptor antagonist, which disrupts glutamate signaling in the brain. This disruption is what produces dissociation, altered perception of reality, analgesia, and at higher doses, out-of-body, or as it's colloquially known, K-hole experiences. It also has secondary effects on dopamine and opioid systems, which contribute to its mood-lifting and reinforcing properties. One of the most important harm reduction points with ketamine is understanding dose and route of administration. Ketamine is active at relatively low doses, and effects scale steeply. Lower doses tend to produce mild dissociation and body relaxation, while higher doses can cause profound dissociation, loss of motor control, confusion, and even unconsciousness. Because ketamine can impair coordination and awareness very quickly, taking more too fast is one of the most common ways people get into trouble. Spacing doses out and allowing full effects to develop before considering more is critical. Ketamine's duration is shorter than many other psychedelics or dissociatives, but that short duration can be misleading. While the primary effects may fade within an hour or so, impairment, confusion, and dissociation can linger a bit longer. Redosing repeatedly over a session increases strain on the body and brain and significantly raises risks without necessarily improving the experience. Mixing ketamine with other substances is where many of the most serious dangers appear. Ketamine should not be combined with other central nervous system depressants such as alcohol, benzodiazepines, opioids, or certain sleep medications. These combinations compound respiratory depression and sedation, increasing the risk of slowed or stopped breathing. Alcohol in particular is a high-risk combination and involved a large percentage of ketamine-related medical emergencies. Combining ketamine and stimulants can also be dangerous, placing excessive stress on the heart and increasing the risk of anxiety, panic, or cardiovascular complications. Another key safety consideration is physical positioning. Ketamine can cause nausea and vomiting while also reducing awareness and muscle control. Lying flat on your back while heavily dissociated increases the risk of aspiration if vomiting were to occur. Staying on your side and avoiding use alone are simple steps that significantly reduce risk. Having a sober or minimally impaired person present who understands what ketamine effects look like can make a real difference if something goes wrong. Bladder and urinary tract toxicity are a long-term risk that deserves some serious attention. Repeated or heavy ketamine use has been associated with ketamine-induced cystitis, which can cause painful urination, frequent urges to urinate, blood in urine, and long-term bladder damage. The risk increases with frequency and duration of use, not just dose. Staying well hydrated, avoiding binges, and keeping use infrequent are important harm reduction strategies, but the safest option for bladder health is long breaks between uses. Ketamine also affects memory, judgment, and perception in ways that can make unsafe decisions more likely. Operating vehicles, swimming, climbing, or navigating unfamiliar environments while under the influence is extremely dangerous. Ketamine impairs reaction time and spatial awareness even when users feel relatively clear. Planning to stay in a safe, controlled environment reduces unnecessary risk. Mental health considerations matter here as well. While ketamine is being explored therapeutically for depression under medical supervision, unsupervised use can worsen anxiety, dissociation, or derealization in some people, especially those with a history of psychosis or dissociative disorders. If dissociation becomes frightening or overwhelming, grounding techniques, reassurance from a sober person, and reducing stimulation can help, but persistent distress is a sign to stop use and reassess. Tolerance to ketamine can develop with repeated use, leading people to take higher doses to achieve the same effects. This escalation increases risks across the board, from physical injury to bladder damage to psychological dependence. Ketamine can be habit-forming for some people, particularly because of its short duration and mood-altering effects. Keeping use intentional and infrequent is a key harm reduction principle. If someone becomes unresponsive, has trouble breathing, cannot be awakened, or show signs of severe confusion or distress, that is a medical emergency. Seeking help quickly can save a life, and medical professionals are focused on safety, not punishment or alerting law enforcement. At the end of the day, ketamine is a powerful dissociative with legitimate medical uses and real risks. Most harm comes from high doses, mixing with depressants, frequent use, unsafe environments, and a lack of supervision. Respecting the substance and understanding how it affects the body, as well as prioritizing safety over intensity, are what separate lower risk use from unnecessary danger. Well, that's going to be wrapping this one up. As I said, I hope you all got something valuable out of this, and I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, a like and a subscribe or follow would be a great way to show it, and would be very much appreciated. Drop a comment letting me know if there's something specific you'd like to see next. And if you're on YouTube, pop on those post notifications so you don't miss out. If you're seeing this on TikTok, then you should certainly go check my YouTube out. I have some exclusive content over there, including, but not limited to, my newest series, Shooting the Shit. On the next episode, probably coming tomorrow if my package arrives on time, we're going to be checking out a Blue Lotus 50x resin extract, which I am sure to be taking a dab of on camera, and letting you guys know how it affects me live. Then, how a combination of its effects, cannabis, and then finally nicotine thrown in the mix feels. I'm quite excited to make this episode, and I think it's going to be a banger. Either way, trust me, you don't want to miss it. With that, I will let you all be on your way for today. Stay frosty, stay curious, and stay safe out there. And I will, of course, see all of you in the next one. Peace!